Welcome to today's interactive video, and on this video we're going to talk about all the Inta Anti-freeze valve products. There are 4 different types. The first one is a compression, and that is compression to compression. The 28mm code is a 028 and the 35mm compression code is a 035. You can also buy these with a zero guard in the pack, and that is 028ZG. Or for the 35, 035ZG. The next type is the swivel type, and there are 2 sizes, inch male to inch female, and that is 01SW, and then we have a 1.25" male to 1.25" female, and the code for that is 014SW. You can also buy these with the zero guard, which is the same codes with just a ZG at the end. The next product is the swivel to compression that's available from March 2026. So 28mm compression to inch female, that'll fit directly onto your heat pumps, and the code is 0128SW. 35mm compression to 1.25" female, and that is 011435SW. And then again, you can buy them in packs with the zero guard, and that would be exactly the same codes with the ZG at the end. The last one we have in the range is the male to male threaded, and we have 2 types. We have the inch to inch male, and that is 0001, and we have the 1.25" male threaded 0114. And again, you can get these in packs with the zero guard and just use the same code with the ZG at the end. Some technical info here that relates to all the Inta antifreeze valve range. So you've got the maximum pressure, inlet pressure, static 10 bar, medium, water, obviously, sensitivity, plus or minus 1 degree C, opening temperature 3 degrees C, working temperature range from 0 to 80 degrees C, ambient temperature range minus 30 to 60 degrees C, and the maximum discharge flow rate at 3 bar would be 1.5 litres. Then here we have all the kV values for the different antifreeze valves. So let's have a look inside an Inta antifreeze valve and the unique parts that differentiate Inta from other antifreeze valves on the market. First, we have the air intake at the top of the valve. This is very important, as if the valve operates and lets water out, we need to allow air in to keep the flow running to prevent the heat pump and pipework from freezing. It's so important to keep these airways open and unblocked from any contaminants from water, snow. Even the air can have contaminants in that can block these up. And this is the reason why we've made our Inta painted zero guard to stop anything getting into these airways and blocking them up. The next is the temperature sensor. And this is why Inta is unique to all the rest on the market, as we take the temperature from the water, not the air temperature surrounding the heat pump and valves. Just imagine if the electricity was interrupted and the heat pump and system could not work, and it was taking the temperature from the surrounding air temperature. That would mean the temperature would drop really fast, and so the antifreeze valve would open within 30 to 40 minutes. Now, with our unique sensor taking the temperature from the internal water and the antifreeze valve insulated with our jacket and sealed correctly, if the electricity was interrupted, it would take hours for the valve to open, because the water from the flow and return would be insulated and protected. So that would take hours to get down to 3 degrees and operate the antifreeze valves. You can insulate our antifreeze valves with our pre-made insulation jackets that have been specially made by our partners, Primary Pro. We have 2 sizes, one for the 28mm or inch antifreeze valves, and they are initial 028 SW, and for the 35" and a quarter antifreeze valves, Inshall 035 SW. These are all pre-made and easy to fit and seal. And as you can see, this is the top, the hole there for the air intake and the Inta Zero to be fitted and sealed. You can also see one side is longer than the other. And the reason we've done that is if you're fitting these direct to the heat pumps or you want some more insulation on one side than the other, we've offset the holes so then you can cut that to where you want. Because on some of the heat pumps, the barrels on the heat pump threads are longer. So this will then fit all heat pumps. This is the bottom part of the antifreeze jacket. And as you can see there, there's a hole for the bottom part of the antifreeze valve. And the slit is in the bottom, so that can be easy sealed when you're fitting onto the valve. Let's have a look how to seal the insulation jacket to the antifreeze valve. So this is the 28mm valve we're looking at here. And there's also the swivel antifreeze valve that, as we said, connects straight onto the heat pump. And that you can see the insulation jacket that can be cut down to the different lengths of barrel on the heat pump. So that's why we've made those insulation like that. So we're going to fit this onto this 28mm antifreeze valve. This is a zero guard. You can see the brass there, that's what we'll be sealing to. And then we want to seal all around. Also, what we need to be doing is making sure the bond and seal goes at the base of it, not at the top. So at the base and at the bottom, around the base again. So you can use as much as you want onto that. And what we want to do is seal the valve to stop any moisture or water getting in there. We're going to put some bond and seal all around the base of the top where the air intake is, making sure you get no bond and seal around the air holes where the air intake is. So you can see we're popping it all around there, and that will stop the moisture getting in. Then we'll go to the bottom, and again around the base, and that'll stop all the moisture. As you want to go, you're going to go all the way around like this. Plenty on. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get the jacket and then we'll push that onto the top. So there's no bond and seal going to ever go near to the air intakes. I'm going to put one on there. We haven't chopped this down. We're just going to fit it to this because we're just popping this in. And then we're going to fit some 28 onto either side. So there you go. That fits on there. Push it on. Seal it all up. That's perfect. Ready for the zero valve. And at the bottom, we're going to add some more bond and seal into that joint there. So get it all the way off, getting onto the pipe and the insulation. We'll also make sure that we're bonding and sealing around the base to stop any heat getting out and also any moisture and water getting in. So there you go, sliding it all over there, getting it inside, make sure it's all in there. Then we can press it together. And then what we're going to do is then seal that up, making sure that the bond and seal is inside the joint, sealing it all up. But also we're going to make sure that the base at the bottom is sealed perfectly. Once that's done, we're going to take some tie wraps and they're going to be wrapped around either side to then seal it up to make sure it doesn't come apart, and that'll then compress it. They're only going to be fitted temporarily. We'll then cut them off once the bond and seal is cured. So pop them on there like that. Don't tie them up too much though. It's just there to hold while the bond and seal cures. Now we're going to fit the zero guard and we're going to bond and seal all around the brass part. And then that will then slide on top and seal the top, but it will not go anywhere near the air intakes. So it's never going to get near them so it could damage it or block it. So there we go. If you do get a little bit inside, don't worry, just clear it off. Don't worry about it, but there you go. It's all around the brass part. There you go. And that is ready to then slide onto the top. So all you do, and you pop that on. It's hexagonal, so it's easy to fit on. Pops on. There you go. And then that's sealed in. And then all you do then is just wrap round it, making sure all the bond and seal is all sealed in. So there's no energy, heat can get out, and no moisture can get in. So then the brass is then all sealed in with the bond and seal. If there is a bit of the bond and seal on that you want to clean off, just get just a normal wet wipe and just clean it off from that. So you want it away from the plastic, because the plastic is the one that comes off when you want to inspect on service. So just make sure it's all clean. And that's how to seal a antifreeze valve. Obviously on these sides then your 28mm or whatever's going to go onto there would then be sealed up either side. Let's look at the maintenance of the Inta Anti-freeze valves. Well, there's very little to do, but it all starts on installation, making sure that all the contaminants, magnetite and oils and everything are removed from the system. And that's why it's really important to do a flush or power flush if it's needed. And then after that, fit a quality filter to collect any of the remnants that could be in the system. Because if not, as you can see on here, this will affect any mechanical product like antifreeze valves on the system. On the annual service, there's two important parts: checking the insulation integrity, making sure it's all sealed, but also checking the air intakes. And that's why we made the Inta guard 2 halves, because the top plastic part can come off and then you can inspect inside there and check that there's nothing in there and it's all protected and sealed. Then pop the plastic part back on and then you've done your maintenance. There are 2 parts that can be replaced. The first one is the air intake, and that's a R91623-in anti-vac for 0 valve. And then there is the sensor and spring release cartridge. That is R91619-SIN-IN cartridge for 0 valve. To remove the anti-vac part, it's simple. All you need to do, like you see in this picture, is cut round the bond and seal to unseal the brass head, pull it out, and then all you'd use then is a 20mm socket set, and that'll easily then take it out, replace the head, and then clean the brass part off with all the bond and seal that's dried on, and then reseal that down on to the insulation and reseal it all round. To remove the sensor and spring release cartridge, you do the same. Just cut round the bond and seal and then get a pair of grips and then take the cartridge off, refit it and reseal it. Hope this video has been useful to you, and if you've got any comments, please comment below and hit the like button with the thumbs up, and also please subscribe, as we've got loads of other interactive videos on all the other products and how to fit the different scenarios with different heat pumps.